Volume of prisms is what we're looking at in this video. It's split into 5 parts. We're first going to start off by looking at finding the volume of a triangular based prism, then a cylinder, and then looking at a cuboid, and then a trapezoidal prism, and then L shapes like this one here. So the way my do this work, I'm going to do the example on the left, which is I do. You are then going to press pause and have got the example on the right, which is you do. So with the first example, we've been asked to find volume. Now to find volume, the formula is just the cross-section area times length. Now, you might be wondering, what is the cross-section area? And that's something I want to cover to start with. So we've got a few shapes here, and we've been asked to shade the cross-section. So the cross-section of this first shape here is this face here. So it's going to be the same from start all the way to the end. So it's the parallel sides we use. And just to show a visual demo on why this is the cross-section, so if I just head over here, you can see from start to end, it's two parallel sides that are the same from start all the way to the end. So the only cross-section area we have on this shape is that one there. Now, moving on to this shape here, the cross-section for this shape would be that one there. Okay, it's the same as I move it from the start here all the way to the end. It's going to be the exact same. And again, to see a visual demo on this, if I just move over here, you can see from the start to the end, it's exactly the same. So going back, now we've been asked to shade the cross-section area of this shape. Again, with this shape, it's going to be this face here, because it is the same from the start here all the way till the end as I move it through the object. And I can again visualize that here. So you can see that me moving it from start to end is exactly the same. So heading back, and with the cylinder, it is going to be this face here. Okay, and that is going to be the same from start to end as I move it through. So now moving on, well, actually, we've also got a cuboid to look at. Now, with the cuboid, it's a bit interesting because the cross-section can be this face, but it can also be this face because it's the same from start to end as I move it through. And it can also be this face at the top because in this case, it's going to be the same as I move it that way. In this case, it's going to be the same as I move it that way. And in this case, it can be the same as I move it that way. You can use either one of these. You would get the exact same answer. You just pick one. So looking at this question now to find the volume, like I said, you need the cross-section area times length. Now, what is the cross-section? We're going to shade that in. So always start off by shading the cross-section. Now we have that. So we can say that the cross-section area, what is the area of that face? Well, it's a triangle. So it's going to be 3 times 5 divided by 2. So the area there is going to be 3 times 5, which is 15. Divide that by 2, which is 7.5. So if you know the area is 7.5 centimeters squared. So if I come back to this formula, we have volume is 7.5 times length. Now, what is the length of the shape? So that is that length there. It's the direction that we're going to be moving in. So that is going to be times 10. And the answer is going to be 75. Now, careful here with the units. It's centimeters cubed because look, we've got squared there and we've multiplied it by the length. So that becomes cubed. So hopefully you've pressed pause and had got the example on the right. So step 1, shade the cross-section. Step 2, write the formula. Volume is the cross-section area times length. The length is easy, so it's times 10. And the cross-section area, well, that's just that shaded area. So that's the area of a triangle, 8 times 2 divided by 2. So that's 8 centimeters squared. That's 8 times 10, which is 80 centimeters cubed. So here's some practice questions. Press pause and have a go. Here are the answers. Mark your work. Now moving on, we have a cylinder. So again, the exact same steps. So we are going to first start off by shading in the cross-section area. So now that I've shaded in the cross-section area, we can write the formula. Volume is cross-section area times length. Now the length is quite straightforward. That's just going to be 20. So the length is the direction that we're going to be moving the cross-section in. And for the cross-section area, we know that it's a circle. So the area of a circle is pi r squared. The radius is just going to be half of that. So that's 4.5 squared, and we can just do 4.5 squared, and we can just leave that as 20.25 pi, and then we just put that in here. So that's 20.25 pi times 20, so 20.25 pi on my calculator times that by 20, and to 2 decimal places I get 1272.35 centimeters cubed. So again, hopefully you've pressed pause and had a got the example on the right. So volume is cross-section area times length. I know that the length is 10. The area of the cross-section is just pi r squared. And again, hopefully shaded in the cross-section area. And that would be pi times 4 squared, which is 16. So that's going to be 16 pi. So in fact, I should just write that the right way around. So that would be, just rub that off, 16 pi. So we have 16 pi times 10. And if I do 16 pi times 10, I get an answer of 502.65 centimeters cubed. So here's some practice questions. Press pause and have a go. Here are the answers. Mark your work. And now moving on, we are looking at the volume of a cuboid. Now remember, with the cuboid, there can be different cross sections that you can pick, but the one I'm going to pick is that one there. So the volume is the cross section area times length. So I know the length is 10, and the cross section area is just a rectangle. So that's just going to be area is 3 times 4, which is 12. So this will become 12 times 10, which is 120 centimeters cubed. And again, hopefully you press pause and had a go at this one. So again, the volume is cross-section area times length. The length is 18, the cross-section area. So the area is just the height and the width. So that's just going to be the 4 there that we've been given, and the 5. So 4 times 5, and that's just 20. And then we just do 20 times that by 18. And that's 360 centimeters cubed. So here's some practice questions. Press pause now and have a go. Here are the answers. Mark your work. And moving on, we are now looking at a trapezoidal prism. So now with this one, again, start off by shading in, well, what is the cross section? So that's a cross section there. And writing out the formula, we have volume is equal to cross section area times length. Now the length is easy, so we'll just put that in straight away. So the length is the direction we're moving the cross section in. Okay, remember that. And we then have the cross section area. Now here you need to be a bit careful because the area is a trapezium. So we need to use the formula of a trapezium, which is a half a plus b times height. So it'll be a half a plus b. So a and b are this length and this length. What you use for a and b doesn't really matter as long as you use both of them. So that's 4 plus 8 times the height, which is 3. So that'll be half 4 plus 8 times 3, and I get the area as 18 centimeters squared. Now I just put that in here, and then I just do 18 times 11, and I get 198 centimeters cubed as the volume. And again, hopefully you've pressed pause and had a go at this on the right. So if I shade in the cross section first, so that's my cross section shaded in. So that's cross section area times length. The length is quite straightforward. So the length is just going to be from here till here. So that is, I can see there, 12. The cross section area, again, is the area of a trapezium. So a half a plus b times height. So in this case, it'll be a half. A is that which is 8. B is that which is 15. So 8 plus 15 times that by the height, which is 10. So a half 8 plus 15 times 10. That gives me 115 centimeters squared because it's area. And then put that in here, times it by 12. And I get my answer as 1380 centimeters cubed for the volume. So here's some practice questions. Press pause and have a go. Here are the answers. Mark your work. And then finally looking at something a little bit more complex. So it's an L shape this time. Now with an L shape, again, the cross section is just going to be this face here. And then we're just going to multiply it by the length. So volume is cross section area times length. The length is 12 because it's just the direction we're going to move the cross section in. It's in that direction. So all I now need is the cross section area. Now this is a compound shape. So I'm just going to rub this off, and we can split this into 2. And we can find the area of this bit here. Let's call this B, and let's call this C. And then I can add them together. So to find the area of this face, let's just start with B. Now B is just going to be 8 times 4. So that is this bit here I'm talking about. The 8 comes from there, and the 4 comes from there. So the width and the height of this is 8 times 4, 8, 16, 24, 32. So that's 32 centimeters squared. We've done that. And how about C? Now with C, it's this bit here. So I can see that this height here is going to be 8 minus 3. That will tell me what that is there. That's 5. So I've done that now. So I've got the height of this. So that's done. I just need the width. Now I know the width from here to here is 10, and I know from here to here is 4, which means this must be 6. So that's 30 centimeters squared. So I know in total it'll be 30 plus 32, which is 62 centimeters squared. And in fact, I should just move this here. So this is my calculation for the cross-section area. So the total is that. So that's just going to be 62 there. So that'll be 62 times 12, which is 744 centimeters cubed. Now, again, hopefully you've pressed pause and had a go at the example on the right. So again, the exact same steps. The only thing tricky with this is the fact that it's a compound shape, so you have to do an extra bit to get your final answer. So we are going to split this like that. So we can call this B and call this C. So we can say B is just going to be 7 times 9. So just to highlight that, that's that there. That's where the 7 comes from. So that's the width. And the height here is going to be 4 plus 5. So we know that 7 times 9 is 63 centimeters squared. And then we just need C now. So C is going to be 5 times 3, which is 15 centimeters squared. So C is this bit here. So that is the 5. And this bit here is 3 because we do 7 take away 10 to get that. So that will be 63 plus 15. And that's a total area of 78 centimeters squared, and then we just put 78 in here, and then if you do 78 times that by 16, you get 1248 centimeters cubed as your volume. So here's some practice questions. Press pause now and have a go. Here are the answers. Mark your work. Now, if you would like some more practice, I've got a full worksheet on this linked down in the comments below over on my website. And if you found this video useful, I've got loads of other content like this on my channel. Do check it out.